All right, so I just made it back to the machine. Had to move that 2-tower pivot over against the edge. And look at this nice, thick. This is going about 150, 60, 70 bushel per acre right here.
What's up, guys? Welcome out to another beautiful day. We are getting ready to move the combine. So we had a bunch of fields that we were renting that were a long ways from our initial, from like where all of our farm is. And we just got done. So this is one of the fields. There's actually still some grain trucks out there that need to be hauled in. But we just got done with all of the fields that are further away. So now we're moving this back to our home farm where everything is, where all of our fields are. And we're gonna start harvesting all that. We have probably about 900 to 1,000 acres left. I'm not sure. I'll let Christopher tell you how many we actually have left, but Christopher's just hopping in. We're gonna get this thing fired up and drive it back. It's about a 30-minute drive. We also have the header that we got to bring back and another pickup over here. So a few things we got to take back and get going, but we're gonna get this stuff moving and grooving, and we're gonna start the day. We still have some hay down we need to rake, so we got to do some raking. Trevor, I think, is probably baling. He's got to do some baling. That's still on that. Trevor also still has, we still have to bale a whole bunch of straw. Because hay and wheat happened at the same time, we have been baling the hay when it's ready, which has put him behind on the straw. So he's way behind, like 400 or 500 acres behind on baling straw. But that's okay, because, well, it can't get any drier. So we're just gonna do what we can, get done what we can, but we are trying to get everything done so we can get ready for potatoes. We've also been hauling cow manure, so we've been doing a lot all at the same time. It's nice to have a big crew of guys so we can get it all done. All right, I'm out here in the rake now, just raking up some lovely hay. It's crazy how big that row looks when you look across here. It's like, this hay looks pretty thin. It doesn't look like there's much there until it gets raked, and then it's like, it's like, that's a big fluffy row of hay. This must, I don't know, it's deceiving. It doesn't look like there's hardly anything there. Granted, there is regrowth growing through it, so maybe that's what I'm seeing, but just doesn't look like there's a lot there. But then you rake it and it's a nice big row, so. But we don't have much left of this, just from here to the canal over there to do. Most of this field's already been done. Probably only take me a couple hours to get this done. And that's good, because we have a lot of other stuff to do. We have, okay, let me try and remember all this stuff we have. So we're trying to figure out manure. The manure is a little bit too sloppy. We don't like to make a mess on the road if we don't have to, so the manure is a little too sloppy, so we're not hauling manure today. But we have, Trevor is baling straw and hay, depending on what, he'll bale the hay if the moisture's right, and he'll bale the straw if the moisture's right. So you can't bale either of them if it's too dry. You can bale straw wetter than hay. So usually he'll start on the straw, and then once the straw gets too dry, then he'll move to the hay. Or once the moisture gets right that he can do the hay, then he'll do the hay. So Trevor's baling, I'm raking, Christopher is in the combine. Josh isn't here this morning. He has to leave for something, but he'll be back this afternoon. But this afternoon, after I get this done, we have hay bales to haul in. So we need to go haul and stack hay bales to get the hay off the field so we can get the water back on. And then we have a potato field that the potatoes are dying. So they're all pretty much dead. They've just died on their own due to verticillium. So they've all kind of died on their own. So when the potatoes die, the dirt row that the potatoes are in, the hill, it cracks. So as they grow, they kind of push the dirt up and it'll crack the row. Sorry, I had to turn around. What that can do, if the row cracks, is it could take those potatoes and it'll show the potatoes to the sun. Now, if the potato sees the sun for too long, it'll start to turn green and you'll get green ends. Well, they reject green ends, so that'll be tossed out in a tear. So we don't want any green ends. So to counter that, the field also has a whole bunch of wild oats in it, this potato field, because wild oats are resistant to like almost every spray out there. So it used to be when you had wild oats in your potatoes, you could spray them with this, I think it's called Matrix, and it would kill the wild oats, but not the potatoes. Well, they've become resistant to Matrix. So now you just about can't kill the wild oats, even in potatoes. The only way to kill wild oats is with Roundup or put it in hay for 3 years, and that pretty well takes them out. That's what we're doing with this field right now. This field had tons of wild oats, so we put it into hay. So that field has wild oats in it, so we can't just roll it. We actually have to vine beat it first. So we have to get our vine beater hooked up. So that's why I'm trying to get the raking done so I can hook up the vine beater. So we gotta get the vine beater hooked up, not to beat the vines, but to chop all the wild oats off. So we gotta chop the wild oats off, and then we have to go hook up to our big roller, which is basically, it's like a 20-foot wide roller of wheels. And then it has a big metal drum in the middle that's filled with water to give it weight. And that will seal up those cracks so the potatoes don't get green ends. And we actually have to roll all of our fields, but we weren't planning on killing any of them until probably next week. We were gonna give them another week and then kill them because they have to be killed 21 days before you harvest them. So we weren't gonna kill any of them until next week, but because this one's already dead, the cracks have already opened up and the sun can see them. So we don't want the potatoes to get green ends on them. So we're thinking we probably need to roll them. We probably won't spray them yet because we can roll them and then spray them a few days later. So we might still spray them to kill them. Like, even though they're kind of dead, they're not dead. So we're gonna spray them to kill them dead. But probably that might wait till next week, but we need to roll them now because the cracks have opened up. So just a whole bunch of stuff we have to do today. But today, focusing on raking. All right, I've finished all of the rows. So now I'm doing the outside rounds. So something a little bit different from when we used to do silage to now that we're baling. When we used to do silage, we would always do the outside rounds first because we would come in with the rake maybe 4 hours before the choppers came in. So the choppers would come in and they would do the outside rounds, and that way they could not have to worry about messing those rows, the outside rounds up when they were picking up all the middle rounds. So it's a little different with baling. With baling, what we've discovered is you want to do all the inside rounds first, all the rows first, and do the outside rounds last, because you always end up hanging out like this and picking up part of this outside round. So if you do the outside round last, you can come in and you can just straighten all these up. So if we look at this, when it comes along, it's like, it just kind of picks up part of that row and pushes it into this outside round and makes it all look nice and clean, makes it good for the baler when he comes through. It just makes it work a lot better. So I'm gonna go around this field twice and we'll be done. Well, Trevor came out and he did bale a few bales, but it must have been a little bit too wet because I can actually see his tractor way over there. He came in, baled some, and left, so it must be too wet. And then right across the highway here, there's our combine cutting the wheat. So it's nice to have the combine back closer to the farm so we all like seeing the combine. It's just cool to watch. So maybe we'll go over there and see it a little bit today, a little bit later. But one other funny thing is, because Trevor is going back and forth between baling the hay and baling straw, there's a yellow bale right there. We're getting a few yellow bales out in the field because he was baling straw, then he came and tried baling some hay. So we get a few yellow bales in the hay field, and we'll get a few green bales in the straw field, in the wheat fields. So kind of funny. Bales like that are always funny to see. Half straw, half hay. That's when he switched fields. It was half done with a bale, switched fields to straw, from straw to hay, and finished that bale with the hay. So we keep those ones. We don't send those ones to the people we're selling it to. We'll keep those. Christopher will take them and feed them to his cows. We're not gonna want to charge them for a half and half bale. So that one's gonna stay with us. I just want to get out real quick and show you this bale. So the reason that we know that it's too wet is we put that Gazika moisture checker on, and this is what it does. So if it's too wet, it has a little spray can, and it measures each flake and sees the moisture of every single flake. So there's a paint dot there, so that one was too wet, that one was too wet, that one was too wet, that one was too wet. It's just like, it puts dots all along where all the wet spots are. And that's how we know if it's too wet and if we need to stop. So that had a lot of dots on it, so that's why Trevor left, because it's too wet. And you wouldn't think it's too wet, because it's like really, really crunchy. But if you get down here underneath, the bottom still has a little bit of moisture in it. So we'll just let this dry. Probably by tomorrow, it'll be ready to go. Might even be by tonight, because it's supposed to be almost 100 degrees today.
I'm on the outside round now, and it's just nice, so nice and clean, that inside round. It just takes and cleans up all the ends of the rows, just makes it look so nice. And I know that that doesn't even matter. Like, it's not gonna make the hay better or anything, it just looks nice. I don't know, I just want things to look nice. And that looks pretty nice. And I like it. We're gonna keep it. All right, I'm done. Just finished the field. Looks good. Hopefully it will be able to be baled in a day or two. And I'm just gonna fold this thing up, and we'll get heading back to the shop. We gotta unhook it and hook up the straw chopper, or I guess not straw chopper, vine beater. So let's get this thing folded up. Driving back to the shop, we get to pass the combine. Out there, looks like he's just about full. Taking the grain cart out to go unload them. They still have probably right around 1,000 acres to do, so a lot left, that's for sure. Right here, this nice green stack is what we have hauled from third crop, from this crop of hay already. Is that green stack? There's another stack on the other side as well. This is last crop. All right, now I just got to unhook this thing so we can hook this tractor up to something else. I also realized that if I'm going to hook up the vine beater, that means we got to put the duals on this tractor. So just so much stuff to do. It just never ends. But let's get this unhooked. All right, we got it. Now I got to figure out what exactly I need to do to this, whether we're going to vine beat the wild oats off the field or not. That is the question. And this is the fielding question. This is all kochia right here, but it only grows along the edge. The wild oats are out there in the middle in little patches. The worst parts are over here. But so it's not the whole field, it's just part of the field. Just got back to the shop. Trevor's here, he's greasing up the baler. The hay was too wet. Now, are you baling any of the straw down in Firth yet?
Yeah, I've got 2 of the fields down there done.
Done some of that. Got a lot of straw left to do. And they're just getting further and further ahead all the time.
Just over 1,800 bales of straw so far.
That's a lot of bales. But he's just getting it greased up. Now it's too, you can't go out and do straw right now, it's too dry.
Yeah, it gets too dry and then the pressure goes too high and then it starts breaking the strings.
Yeah. So he's getting it ready for when the dew comes back on.
3 o'clock tomorrow morning.
Yep. And then hopefully he can bale the rest of the hay tomorrow or the next day.
That's what I'm hoping, tomorrow morning I can finish it.
This baler's been pretty awesome. Have you had any problems with it at all?
A few missed ties, and then there's some electrical stuff going on. It kicks a bunch of low voltage codes in the cab, but you unplug the monitor and plug it back in and they go away. So,
interesting.
I gotta call Stan.
So we got a lot going on. Also, the semis are here, taken out of the cellar. So I'll take you guys out and give you a little cellar update if you want one. Figure you probably do. So let's go see how they're doing. We have 2 cellars left that are full. We have this one and the one right next to it. Those are the only 2 that are left. These 2 have refrigeration, so they should be some of the best potatoes that have been held this late. Like, it's middle of August. We still have 2 cellars full, which is kind of crazy. Normally you would never have cellars full this late in the year because potatoes don't store that long, really. Some varieties do. If you keep them really, really cold, they'll store for quite a while, but most varieties do not like to be stored that long.
We'll walk back here in the cellar. It is nice and cool in here. Looks like there's a rotten potato here and there, but not a whole lot. Look, there's a candy wrapper right there. Potato chips. Yeah, so we have a couple little rotten ones here and there, but they're all dry. So they're not bad, and there's almost no sprouts. This is how they get them out. Normally this is how they come out. They'll fall pretty easy. The last cellar didn't want to roll very easy, but normally they just cascade down into a little spud slide. It's always been fun to watch these. That semi is just about full. They just shut it off, and then they'll keep going. There's probably 75,000 sacks in this cellar, so I'm glad they've held. But yeah, it's nice and cold in here. It's only about 50 degrees in this cellar because this one has refrigeration on it. I wish all of our cellars had refrigeration on it. Then we would never have any problems with rotten potatoes. Granted, we weren't supposed to be holding the potatoes this long anyway. Well, there's our roller, but I don't know how I'm gonna get to it. It looks like it's been sitting here for probably a decade, maybe more, 15 years. We have not used this in a long time. But it looks like since then, somebody has piled up a whole bunch of fencing right there, and there's these big dirt berms. So I thought I was just gonna be able to back right up to it and hook it up, but that's not gonna happen. It looks like I need to go get the backhoe and kind of clear some of this stuff out of here so I can actually get to it. Well, I'm working on it. I pulled a big chunk of concrete out of the ground and a huge stump, kind of pushed all this dirt out of the way. I don't know why we put it back here under the tree, never to be seen again. But yeah, we probably shouldn't have done that. I'm in the middle of trying to clear out all this berm, and then I gotta use the backhoe part to push that. There's a bunch of wire over there. I'm gonna have to push it all out of the way and try and get this out. Okay, I've got it chained up. Let's see if we can drag it out of here. Now there is a skunk out here somewhere. Hopefully I don't disturb him, because I don't want anything to do with a skunk. Well, I mean, it's coming. I'm just gonna back up and hopefully it runs over everything that's in the way. It is just a big roller, so, but it's very heavy. We're coming. We're coming. Come on. Oh boy. It's wanting to tip over the... Got it. Success. I got it out. Whether it wanted to come or not, it's out. So this is what the roller is. Looks like we hooked a couple of the fence things, but just barely. May need a pry bar to get that off, but it's just a bunch of old tires. And then this big drum in the middle is full of water. So it's very heavy. But, well, I mean, I got it out, so that was at least an accomplishment. But I can't hook it up yet because, like I said before, we have a whole bunch of stuff going on all at the same time. So now we actually have enough people to haul hay bales. So we're gonna go haul some hay now. Well, those semis are getting their trucks loaded up.
They've taken quite a few loads already today. But I'm gonna go hop in our semi. Josh is already out in the field, and I don't know where our other loader is, but hopefully we have 2 loaders because that makes it a lot easier. But let's go out to the field. All right, guys, well, we are officially loading hay. Josh is out there loading me up. If you look in that mirror, you can kind of see him stacking. So we have a few bundles out in this field, just a few over here, and then the one he's working on, then there's one even further back. But should only be maybe 2 loads with the semi on this field, and then we'll be moving over to another field. So we'll get this all loaded up and see what we can get done today. So while we're loading this hay, how about I send you guys around to everybody else and you can see what they've been doing today.
Good morning, guys. It's been a cruddy morning trying to bale hay. I just about got in an accident on the highway over here trying to turn into this field. Some impatient bugger, he didn't want to wait, about hit me. Luckily I saw him in the mirror before I got too far in the other lane. You couldn't get around without hitting me. But I'm up here baling hay in our last field. You can see Christopher over there combining, and Taryn's right over there. See if we can see him finishing raking. Hoping if I can bale this field, it won't be too high moisture. We'll see. I tried it earlier and it was a little moisture, too high moisture. I'm hoping with just the dew, and hopefully the dews come off and I can bale. We'll see. Hey guys, look how big these windrows are. They're rubbing my tires and rubbing the bottom of my tractor going in. These are definitely big windrows. I'm dragging them on the tongue of the baler. And right now I'm over 350 bales. I'm gonna guess with the rows I have left, I'll be over 400 plus on this field. Don't know if you guys can see the problem why my tractor's getting hot, but I don't know. It only took 2 rows of these big tall rows in this wind to get it looking like that.
Well, Josh here today. I'm going to go out and disc some manure. Pretty low on fuel. So we're going to fill up. I wonder how much it takes to fill up a tractor. I'll turn this back to 0. And then on. We'll see how much it takes. Well, it took 235 gallons of fuel. Almost 236. Well, I'm out here disking. My fuel gauge is just jumping around to 0 to nothing. So I'm thinking probably wasn't that low on fuel when I first filled it up. GPS just has a big blob instead of, it usually looks like a tractor or something. Just disking up the manure. It's about 100 degrees today. A little dusty. We started irrigating. Once I'm done with this field, I get the rest of the lines on and running. We got all those fields left to do up there in front of us. I just got back from disking and the truck looks like it caught a piece of cement. I guess we'll fix that tomorrow. All right, what is up? So I'm out here in the middle of a field out on the lavas, and I just had to move this pivot here behind me over against the wall, but I thought I'd just kind of show you me walking through the grain field. Got the combine over there. It is full. I'm waiting for my tractor driver. But this is the pivot I had to move. The grain is very tall. You can easily touch it. It's about to your waist. But anyway, just get to walk through the grain field a little bit. Sorry about a little bit of wind. I will show you me walking through the grain field and going over to my combine, which, as you can see, is pretty dang full. But that is where I'm going to walk to while I'm waiting for the grain cart to come back. Alright, so I just made it back to the machine. Had to move that 2-tower pivot over against the edge. And look at this nice, thick. This is going about 150, 60, 70 bushel per acre right here. You can see these heads. Crumble them up. Blow on it. There's some of the kernels right there. So we got a lot of those heads to fit in this beast right here. I think we should call this the beast because it's giant. There's my office right there. Oh, and there's a bit of a track I stepped in. Anyway, so we'll climb up into my office. Looks like my tractor driver's coming over this way. We got a few more trucks to fill. We'll get this field finished in hopefully an hour or so, but this is me getting up into my office. This is my nice chair. Here I can show you. If I stand up on here, there's all the kernels of wheat. And if we get down here again, there's a little door right here we can open up, close. Get a little bit of a sample of what the wheat looks like. My kids like to get a handful of this and chew it up, kind of turns into gum. But anyway, we'll get going to my office. All the bells and whistles, the chair I gotta sit in for 14, 15 hours a day. There it is. Beautiful view out here. Can't beat a better office view than what I got. All right, what is up, guys? So I thought I'd give you another update. It is a new week and we are just here in the combine again. I got about 700 acres of wheat left to go. And so I know Terrence said he was doing some filming today. We try to film, you know, most every day, but when you do wheat, it's getting pretty monotonous. You do the same thing for 14, 15 hours a day and then do it all over again. So there's not a whole lot of new anything to go over. You know, we get to a new field every day, or you know, you can go over what the yields are, but all the grain is the same. It's all hard red spring wheat. So but I thought I'd give you a little bit of an update. At this one, I'm going to also go over a little bit of some of my own settings. So for me, what I have to look at and do for next year, because this is one of the main reasons we started YouTube, or we started filming our videos, was so that the jobs that we do once a year for only a few weeks, the next year we can't really remember on how to run everything, and you have to get back behind the wheel or behind the seat and figure out, okay, how did I do that again, or how did I set that up, or, you know, on this, how did I make the header rigid or flex, or, you know, how did I set my up and down, or what did that button do? So there's a lot of that going on. So we are here kind of behind the dairy. Our field is called Twos, but if you look, the dairy is just across the way over there, and we are just, there's a few weeds on this end. We're about done with this end, then we'll be over to the good part of the field. But anyway, so yeah, we will kind of go over again. I wanted to film some of my settings, so I'm going to flip my camera around and then film some of that. Anyway, thanks for riding along. Before I end today, I'll get some video so you guys can just watch. You know, maybe we could have Taryn put it in slow mode or something like that, slow motion, where you could watch just the wheat funneling into the front of the combine. So anyway, here's some of my settings, mainly for my own reasons, but anybody out there who runs a Fendt combine might be able to be helped out as well. Okay, again, so I said the next part of this video is for me mainly, unless you own a Fendt combine and header. This is your automatic header height control, so you push it once, it goes down to a set height that you have up here on 1. You push it again, it goes to 2. You hit it twice, it goes all the way up, and you can set the height, it goes up and down. This is your auto steer, your header tilt, your reel. Now if you turn this button on right here, this is your header tilt. If you push that so it's blue, then your reel will make your header tilt back and forth. On the back of the joystick, the top button that you would feel kind of goes back and forth with your pointer finger. It is for the streamer gates up here. So you have 4 different streamer gates. So that's when you unload. You can go at different speeds when you're unloading. This button right here, I just barely pushed it. That puts your auger out, and pushing it in turns your auger on. And these are just some of your other settings. This caution right here just means I'm close to my 50-hour service. My fan speed. This is the rotor's clearance, concave clearance, rotor speed, upper chaffer sieve and lower sieve. This is a percentage that you are working your combine. This is how many bushels is up in the top, up in your bin. That's the temperature outside. If you have GPS, that is if you are doing a windrow or spreading your chaff. And I could just hit that, it would go forward and it would spread the straw instead of put it into a windrow. These are all your losses. These are some of your averages. Average bushel per acre, bushel per hour, your percentage of moisture averages, your acres you've done. Anyway, there's a lot of settings in here that I won't go over. Alright, we're just doing on the very edge of the field here. So I'll let you watch some of this wheat come in. Like I said, sometimes it'll bunch up here in the middle, and then I'll push that button, the number 2 button, so it'll flow in a lot better, a lot easier. I am working right here just to the south of the dairy. I know my windows are pretty dirty, but there's some hay that Trevor baled up. As you can see, that mirror you can't really see out of. It gets kind of dusty out here in the combine. Thank goodness for an enclosed cab. But there's some hay that Trevor got baled for the dairy field. I don't know if he did it this morning or the other night, but so yeah, we're just working away. We got the rest of this field. This is a 90-acre field we call twos. So it's just here south of Shelley, Idaho, off of the highway. There's some old thistles that did not get killed in the spraying. So luckily the combine just blows them out the back. It might growl for a second to pull them in, but looks like they're dandelions just floating in the wind. Gonna go spread more thistle seeds that nobody needs. Alright, so I just kind of wanted to give you a little bit of viewing pleasure. You can just watch the wheat funnel in from the header. right in there to the middle. It's a little mesmerizing. And it's a little hypnotizing. Sometimes I'll just get watching it too much and then realize, oh crap, my GPS didn't turn on or didn't acquire the row or shut off, and then all of a sudden I'll just be sitting here watching and I will not be driving straight. So there's a good little 1 minute video or so of wheat just funneling in. We're going about 3.5 miles an hour right now, and it's yielding, oh, this little strip right here is only about 115 bushel.
All right, guys, well, I got all loaded up. So we're just down here now at the stack. Luckily, this hay is dry enough that we can just stack it how you should normally stack hay. We don't have to space it out and do all the stuff like we were doing before to get it to dry. We're just stacking it up. So, nice green stack, looks pretty good. And then we have 4 straw bales that were just out in the field from when Trevor switched from straw to hay. So, just getting this all stacked up. It's a good load of straw. Not straw, it's a good load of hay. Good old alfalfa hay. Now we should have one more load off of that field and then we'll move to the next one. And just like that, unloaded. Let's go get another one. All right, we finished that last field. Now we're on to a new field. We've gotten a few loads off of here. And now we have our other loader back. So Josh is out in the field and I'm gonna unload myself and go back out and get another load. We're gonna get this semi unloaded the easy way. Man, that was easier. Now let's go ahead and load it again. Okay, these are the last bales off this field. Once I get these stacked, I can go home. I'll be done for the day. And we can start these pivots, which will be great. All right, guys, well, that's gonna be the end of my day. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you enjoy these little wheat harvest updates Christopher's has been sending you. And I love you. I'll see you in the next one.